This is Two Chicks Talkin Flicks, where we review movies. Love them or hate them, someone's got to do it. So enjoy the show. Hi, I'm Sarah, and this is Two Chicks Talkin Flicks, and anything else that gets in the mix. And I am joined today by Kate. Hello.
Hi.
Hi. So is there anything you want to promote to our listeners, like your TikTok or Instagram? Where can people find
sure.
you?
I can. I have an Instagram and I also have TikTok. Both of those are under kate.m.edits. And then I have a YouTube channel, which is kate.m.edits. I think it's a dash and then it should be YT.
All right. And what kind of stuff do you do on there?
I make like edits. So I'll make edits mostly of like 90s or 2000s shows because that's kind of like my favorite like genre and like era of movies and shows. Mostly The Cutting Edge, because that's my all-time favorite movie. And I just every time I hear a song, I always think of it, and I'm like, oh, that would be so good for an edit. So it's mostly The Cutting Edge, but I try to throw some other stuff in there too.
Yeah, that's how I found you. It popped up on my TikTok, and I was like, oh my God, I love The Cutting Edge. It's so good. What got you into The Cutting Edge? Was it like, did you see it in theaters or?
Oh no, I was not alive when The Cutting Edge came out. I wish I would have been, because what I would give to have seen it in theaters. Ugh. But it was
fun.
My dad who got me into it.
Really?
Yes, I think he saw it in theaters, and then he really liked it, and then he would watch it with me when I was a baby.
Oh wow!
And then I kind of forgot about it, but then like a couple years ago, he was watching the end of it, and I was like, "Oh, look at this movie! It looks really good." And he's like, "You don't remember?" And I was like, "No." And then he told me what it was, and I watched it, and it's been my favorite movie ever since.
I love your dad for that.
Yes.
Me, my mom, and my sister all went and saw it in the theaters.
I wish.
When it came out. And I've loved that movie ever since. And we refer to it as toe pick. They don't call it The Cutting Edge. We just say toe pick. And I can't tell you how many times in my life that we just randomly will say toe pick. Like, that is probably, between the three of us, like the most common like quote that we'll say, besides pivot from Friends. But other than that, toe pick was probably like way high up there.
Yep.
Have you seen any of the other Cutting Edge movies?
I have not. I don't know if I can, because I love this movie so much, and I'm worried that if like I watch the other ones, like I kind of want to watch them, but I'm like, I don't know, because like I just kind of like have like I just like love it so much that I'm worried that if I watch the other ones, it's gonna like ruin my love for it, because they're not even in the other ones. So I'm kind of like loyal to them, I guess.
Right? Yeah, I think Christy Carlson Romano is in it.
Yes, I've seen like the trailers for all the other ones, and I kind of want to, because I'm like, I feel like I should, but I can't get myself to do it. I'm like, oh no.
I think there's 3 others, if I remember correctly. At least 2 for sure.
Yeah, that sounds right. I think there's 3.
And I know I've seen 2 of them. I don't know if I've seen the third. But I'm pretty sure I've seen the first 2. And I mean, they're not terrible. I thought it was going to have her mom and dad in it, and it doesn't. And it just kind of bummed me out a little bit, because I love this movie. I had it on VHS. I have it on DVD.
I have a DVD.
Yeah. I had to watch it on Tubi, because we couldn't get the DVD player to work, or we couldn't change over to the DVD player. Stupid remote. So I had to find it online, but I was like, oh, I love this movie.
Yeah. I used to watch it on YouTube when they had it on there for free, and then they took it off for free. So I was like, no, I have to watch this movie. So I bought it on Amazon Prime, and then they put it back on YouTube for free. And I was like, what are we doing?
Who knows?
But then my dad took me to like a DVD store that we have in town. And I was like, oh, do you think they have the cutting edge? And they did.
Well,
they
good.
had 2 of them, but he wouldn't let me get both.
Yeah. The problem when I watch movies that I love, especially ones that maybe like I really, really like, but I hadn't seen in a while, I'll find myself when I'm supposed to be taking notes, I'll just be sitting there watching the movie. And I'm like, damn it, Sarah, you got to take notes because,
Yeah.
I need references. And towards the end of the movie, like when, they get to the Olympics, I was just sitting there watching. I was like, Sarah, damn it, you got to take some notes.
No, I'll put it on. I'll put it on in the background because I'm like, oh, I've seen this movie a million times, and then I don't focus on what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm like back in the movie. I'm like, I've seen this. I know what happens. I don't need to be watching it like I've never seen it before.
So do you do ice skating at all, or?
Oh, I wish. I always thought because when I was little, I did ballet.
Oh, okay.
But it never really went anywhere. And I don't live in an area where skating is super available to do. Mm-hmm. So I never really got into that either. But I always see I would always see the figure skating championships on TV, and I was like, that's so cool. I wish I could do that. And then I watched the movie, and then I wanted to do it even more. But yeah.
Yeah, when we were watching the movie, my friend was over, actually, April. She's my co-host for the this podcast. And she was over while we were watching the movie, but she had to leave, so that's why she's not on.
That's okay.
But we were watching the movie, and she'd never seen it before. And we stopped and paused the movie because we started talking about ice skating. And I don't remember what happened, but somehow we started talking about Nancy Kerrigan, Tanya Harding, and that whole debacle, and then the girl who beat Nancy Kerrigan, and we were just having so much fun just talking about the Olympics from whatever year that was. I think it was 94. I don't know.
Yeah, that sounds right.
But we were just she's so we do not like Nancy Kerrigan. We both thought she was kind of annoying. Her crying. But I was always Team Tanya I didn't like that, she may or may not have been a part of the hurting the accident to Nancy Kerrigan.
Yeah.
I don't want anybody ever get hurt.
Yeah.
But I was never a fan of Nancy Kerrigan because I always hated her outfits. And I told this story to my friend. I said she always wore white, and I hated it because it was oh, look at me, I'm in white, I'm a princess. And she's like, yeah, she always looked like she was in Swan Lake. And I go, but do you know why she wore white? And she said no. I said it was because her mom was blind, and she only was able to see a little bit. And so she wore white, she could actually see her on the ice. And then I felt bad.
Oh, yeah, that's kind of sweet, though.
Yeah, it is sweet. She was still super annoying with the why.
Yeah.
But you know what? To be honest, if someone had come and attacked me, I probably would have done the same.
Yeah.
But But I'm a huge ice skating fan. I've never really ice skated. I was more of a roller skater. But I still love this movie.
Yes.
Actually, Moira Kelly, Kate in the film. Oh, is that why you like it? Because she has the same name?
Well, Kate's my middle name, actually,
okay.
but yeah, I've always liked the name Kate. And I kind of just I think I almost projected myself onto her because I did sports when I was younger, and my parents were very into it, and they were like, oh, you could do it in college and you could do all this stuff, and I didn't really want to. I like to do it for fun, but I never really wanted to go anywhere with it.
Yeah.
And so I kind of put myself in her, like into her, I guess. Like I kind of like saw myself in her, like she's doing it because she kind of feels like she has to, like she's had this goal her whole life,
Yeah.
even though she doesn't really want it. But that's kind of like, it was like kind of like the same with me. And so I kind of like projected myself into her. I was like, you are me. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, Moira Kelly, she lives like a few towns away from me. I've never seen her,
Oh,
but she does live here in Texas. So
oh, I want to meet her. She
I
seems
know
so kind.
I would love it. I loved her on One Tree Hill. I was a huge One Tree Hill fan. So
I still need to watch that. It's on my watch list.
it's so good. You should watch
I've
it.
heard it's good. I'm like, I have so many things I need to watch. I don't know where to start.
Well, stop watching The Cutting Edge and start watching One Tree Hill. I mean,
Okay, I will.
I also had a crush on DB Sweeney when I was a kid. I thought he was so
Oh yeah.
cute.
Mm-hmm.
As much as I also loved Patrick Swayze, I would
Yep.
say that he was probably next on the list from
Mm-hmm.
Patrick.
Yeah.
So cute. When I was watching this again last night, I was like, still got it. He still got it.
Yep.
Every time I see this movie, I'm like, damn, he looks good. But then, like, I'll
Mm-hmm.
see him now and I'm like, not so much.
And I'm like, oh yeah, that was 30 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
But okay.
Him and the guy from, you probably don't know the show because you're not old enough, but there's a show called Silk Stockings that I used to watch with my mom. And the guy from that, he was super hot. I know he's been on to other stuff, but he was very attractive. And I think of him sometimes. And I'm like, whew, he was so hot.
Yeah.
Especially in the 90s. Now, if I saw him today, I might be like, ugh. I don't think
Yeah.
so. But back in the day,
Yes.
during this time frame. But anyways, okay.
It was. Oh, sorry.
Oh no, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say it was weird for me the first time because I was like, oh, he's so cute, and then I was like 16,
Mm-hmm.
and he was like 30 in the movie, and I was like, oh, maybe we need to reconsider that one.
I was a 5-year-old in love with Patrick Swayze. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, it's just a little like celebrity crush.
Yeah. You know, they just stay in that time era. You know, eventually you'll catch up.
Yeah.
All right. So what we normally do is we just go around and I want to know, what is your favorite part of this movie? If you could like pinpoint like one scene or one part, what's your favorite part?
Oh, I don't know. There's so many. I feel like the most obvious one is like everybody loves the toe pick, like the montage. It always makes me giggle.
Yeah.
And the love confession at the end has to be in my top 3 love confessions of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just so, like, everything about that scene, just, I love it so much. I'm like, yes, this is how you do it.
Right.
But definitely, I don't know if it's between those two or if there's something I'm forgetting, but I don't know. I love the whole movie, like, everything about it, like, the vibe, and I've seen people talking bad about the soundtrack, and I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear any of that.
Right? I like the soundtrack.
I know. After I watched the movie, I immediately made a Spotify playlist of the soundtrack. I was like, I will be listening to this for the next 40 years.
Yeah, my favorite scene, if I had to like pick a scene, that's not the ending, because obviously the ending is the best scene. But
Yeah.
it's all the montages. So first, like, it's them working out.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's the ones where they both wake up late and
Yes.
they're like running and they're like pushing each other. And then he like gets up from the table and he's wearing the ice packs. Just, like that whole scene there, because that's when you like feel their fire and their like passion, but they're like mad. Yeah. And you know, you're like, are they ever gonna figure out they're supposed to be together? Yeah, that's
yes, like he's teasing her, she's mad about it, but like you're like, is she feeling it? Does she know she's kind of into it? Is she kind of into it? Or like...
Well, something that I never noticed until watching it, like sometimes I find when I'm watching these movies and I'm reviewing them for the podcast and I'm taking notes, I notice stuff that I would never notice before. So something that I noticed was as the movie progresses, her hair gets lower and lower and lower. So first it's like, it's always in ponytails, buns, ponytails, whatever. Mm-hmm. And then it's in like a half up, half down. And then it's in down. And then it's like fluffy and down and curls. And then it's like loose curls. The more she is falling in love with this man, the like more wild and unkept her hair is getting. And I never noticed that.
It's literally her loosening up.
Yeah. And I was like, wow, I never noticed that.
Yeah, I didn't notice that either. But now that you point it out, I can like see like the scene by scene in my head. I'm like, yep.
We'll be back after a quick break.
What if you could go back in time and rewatch your favorite movies with fresh eyes?
Well, that's exactly what we do on The Regular Guy Movie Show. I'm Brian.
I'm Seth.
And I'm Justin.
Each episode, we dig into a different movie. We break down what holds up, what doesn't, and why we loved it in the first place.
It's like hanging out with your buddies and debating movies with less burping and farting.
So if you're a fan of nostalgia with a side of sarcasm, come hang with us.
The Regular Guy Movie Show Talking Flicks. Here we go!
The Regular Guy Movie Show. Press play on your childhood favorites.
Yeah, and I don't know if that was on purpose or that's just happenstance, but I just noticed it and I was like, oh wow, that's kind of cool. It's like her loosening up and
yeah, that is cool. I didn't even notice that.
When I first saw this movie, and almost every time I'd seen it until I was a little older, the very opening scene when he's running late for the Olympics and he's like, it's 1:00. I thought you said the alarm. And she's like, you said 9.
Oh, that's
9
the best
alarm.
joke.
And I was like, yeah, it should have been 9 a.m. Like, how did you sleep past? Like, I never understood that it was like, no, 9 is no alarm.
Yeah.
And
it took me a second, but I was like, oh, she's German or which language is it? Is that German?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
I think so.
And I would just be like, I don't understand the joke. And then as I got older, I was like, oh, 9 means no. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Norma Gita.
Yeah.
I hope I never meet a Gita because
I won't be able to take it seriously.
Yeah, I'll probably say something and be like, oh, do you like The Cutting Edge? Were your parents fans?
Have you ever seen?
I love that he's a playboy from the very start. You're just like,
yes.
Okay, I get how he is. And then like the scene later on when they're at the New Year's party and every girl is kissing him. Just like, what?
The only thing I could think of that whole time was like, he's going to get mono or something. Right. Like, he's going to catch something from this.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeesh.
And then at the bar when he goes to see Walt to tell him that he's been figure skating and that girl kisses him too, I'm like, he's kissing everybody. What's going on?
Yeah, that was another scene. I was like, what is the Merchant Marines? I feel like that was in a lot of 90s movies. I know of the Marines.
I don't know. Yeah.
I know of the Navy, all of that, but Merchant Marines, and I was like, what is that?
Yeah, and the thing in the car after she breaks up with Hale and she calls Doug Ramjet the rookie. I have no idea what that means.
Yep, never.
And I looked it up and everything. Literally nothing. I was like, what is that? It's like,
still don't
he
know.
didn't know. We don't know. I don't even know if she knew.
Probably not. She also says Hail Schmail, so.
No, I love that part. I was that scene worried me though. The first time I watched it, I was like, he better not. He better not.
Yeah.
But I was like, I know this is going to mess something up, but he better not do anything because she is not here right now. She's somewhere else.
And that's what gets me about it is that he was a good guy. Maybe it's because she's seen him getting kissed by all these women, and apparently he's a big, player.
Mm-hmm.
I guess she thinks like, oh, he must not like me, but it's because he liked her so much that he's like,
I know.
No, you're too blitzed for me to be with you right now.
I
like,
know.
not this way.
I was like, no, you have to understand. He's doing this because he likes you, not because he doesn't like you.
This just proves,
But
guys,
then he
don't
slept
be
with
whores.
Lori. Yeah.
Okay, so speaking of Lori, I never noticed this before. At the New Year's party, is she there?
I was thinking that too. I was literally, every time I see that scene, there's one woman that's in the shot for like just a second.
Yeah.
And I'm like, is that her or is that just someone who looks like her? And I think it might be someone who looks like her because I think I've watched it enough times that I think that I can tell the difference. I think that her eyes are different. So I don't think it's the same person, but they look very similar to the point where I'm like, is it makeup difference or is it actually a different person? Because I cannot tell.
Yeah, because it looks like her. And I thought, well, that would make sense. They're in the ice skating world.
Yeah.
So that would make sense why they were there. And Brian was her old partner. So, but then it seems like they had never met.
I know.
And I can't tell who wants Doug more, Lori or Brian.
I know. Oh, I remember I watched it with my friend and I kind of clocked that that Brian was gay from, I don't know if I can say it like that, but like from the way that he was like, Rick, this is impossible. And I was like, I kind of had like a little bell went off in my head. I was like, wait a minute. And then I got to that scene and I was like, yep, okay. But yeah, I thought that was funny. I was like, they're both giving him that look. Like, and I had watched it with my friend and she had gone, they are looking at him like they want him to be their third. And I was like, oh my gosh.
If she only knew they wanted individual shot at him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I love her, Kate's look. She's just like, get used to it, bro. Like, all the guys are going to want you. So
yeah,
she thinks it's really funny.
Oh, I love that version. You'll get used to it.
I love when she gets mad, how big her eyes get. Like, she's a great eye actress.
Yes.
That's a thing.
I think I know what you mean. Like, she has like
like, they're so expressive. And she just, like, I wouldn't want to piss her off because I don't want her to look at me like that.
Yeah, she's always got like that. She gets mad and then she gets this like deer in the headlights look, but like it's also gonna kill you. Like, oh.
And like them playing hockey, I
love that scene.
Like my friend said, she goes, it looks like he's barely even trying, but he's doing just enough to show off.
Mm-hmm.
To like show why he's good and why he was successful at hockey. But like he's also taking it easy on her and she cannot beat him and she's getting mad and mad and mad.
I know. I always think about, I'm like, why would you challenge a former like Olympic level hockey player to a one-on-one? Like, you're losing, girl.
Because she's stubborn as an ox. Or a mule.
It's a good scene though.
Is there any other scenes that like really stand out to you that you love?
I always love the slow motion, like at the New Year's party when they turn around and they're like face to face and they're like, oh, like there's just like a moment.
When they have like literal sparks in between them.
Yes, literal sparks. Oh, I love that part so much. I'm like, this is cinema. This is literally pure cinema. I don't know how people don't like this movie.
Like, how do you have sparklers indoors?
I know. I was thinking that too. I was like, this is dangerous. Like,
Yeah.
y'all are very close to each other. You're hugging each other. You're kissing each other. And you have an, like, active sparkler in your other hand.
And it's the 80s.
Like,
All those women are wearing Aquanet. Like,
yeah. Like,
that's
somebody's
not a
hair is
good-
catching on fire right now.
Yeah. Very scary. There are so many quotes in this movie that I love. Anything the coach says.
Oh my gosh.
I love him.
He's one of my favorite characters in the whole movie.
Yeah. Illegal, or illegal. It's a gray area.
Yeah. He's like, it could be, but we're going to do it anyway.
Or when he's, I have a few of them. Let's see here. Where's my favorite one? Oh, when he just says the people's names. When he calls it Douglas Dorsey.
Yes, the pronunciation.
Yes, I love
The
it.
first time I watched the movie, I think I thought her name was Katya because for some reason I didn't hear like anyone else say her name, I guess. So I thought her name was Katya, but they were just calling her Kate, like as like a nickname.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh wait, no, her name is Kate. He's just saying Katya because it's probably easier with the accent.
Right.
But I was like, oh yeah, Katya. And I was like, oh no, not at all, actually.
Yeah, I have always gotten a little confused about that as well. I forgot what her name was like halfway through the movie, and then someone said Kate, and I was like, oh, Kate, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Because they don't say it too much, and he always just calls her, like you said, Katya. And
yeah.
So yeah.
Or like he'll say Kate, but it doesn't sound like Kate because of the accent. So it'll be like Kit or something, and I'm like, what? What did he just say?
Yeah, right.
And so I didn't register it as like her name. I was just like, he said something. I don't know what he said, but he said something.
Yeah, and then he said, "Smoke off and brewski."
Oh yes,
Smoke off
so
and brewski.
funny.
And
I like it when in the first when they first meet, and I don't know why he goes like he's talking to Doug and he's like, where are you going? Back to Siberia? And then he goes, Gretzky.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite. The roll of the R's is one of my favorite things.
Yes, I love that too. I think I have that written down somewhere. Like, he has such great lines.
Yes.
And like, he doesn't say a ton, but when he does, it means something.
Mm-hmm.
And I really, he's an unsung hero of this movie.
He really is. And he kind of guides them together too.
Oh yeah.
Because they're so far in their own denial. And then he's kind of like talking to Kate when she hits him in the face with the hockey puck. And he's like, no, you're not feeling guilty. You're afraid that he's going to leave you and you're going to have no partner again.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's talking to Doug and he's like, well, how would you feel if this was your job, basically? Like, yeah, you're kind of just getting into this now, but because you working at the factory, this is what that is, but for Kate.
Yeah.
And so he's kind of making them realize these things about like themselves and then each other. And then they eventually kind of start realizing it themselves. And they're like, oh, that's what this is. I'm in love with you.
Duh. We all saw it.
Yeah. Couldn't you tell?
Yeah, sheesh. One thing I think is funny is that he gives reasons why, or the dad, he's talking to Doug, and he's given reasons why she didn't like this partner. And then he says this, and I was like, what does that mean? What is the issue with sweating too much? Or it's not sweating enough. He said, this guy sweat too much. This guy didn't sweat enough. I'd be okay with that.
I know. I was like, that's less I feel like that's the goal, right? Like, you don't want to be touching other people's sweat.
Or is he saying that maybe they weren't working hard enough, so they didn't sweat enough?
Maybe.
Like, is that what he meant?
I don't know. I thought that maybe they were just trying to show how picky she is.
That could
Like
be.
she needs like this perfect guy to be her partner who just does everything at the same level that she does, and like I don't know, but that one was always like I was like, he doesn't sweat enough. What do you mean? Like,
Yeah. Like,
don't sweat at all.
why isn't she a singles skater? I wonder.
I don't know. I wondered that too. I was like, I feel like once they kind of figured out she was having this partner problem, I mean, like, I think, I can't remember how hard they said it was to transfer from pairs to singles or like back and forth. But because I looked it up, I was like, is it hard to transfer from pairs to singles?
I think it would
And I
be
can't remember.
easier to transfer from singles to pairs than
I
from
think
pairs
it
to
is.
singles.
Yeah, because I think there's more requirements for singles
Yeah.
that like maybe she just wasn't able to do because she'd never really had to do it before.
Well,
But
and you don't have as many jumps and leaps and stuff you got to do when you're a pair
Yeah.
skater as you do when you're a single
Yeah.
skater.
yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Like there's just things that she's not prepared herself to do for like the singles category. So they were just trying to stick with the pairs.
You know, I was a bowler when I was younger and all through like childhood through high school and college. Hold on. Oh my goodness. Sorry. And but my parents never bought me my own bowling alley. Did your parents buy you any stadium equipment for any sports you were in? Because she has her
Yeah,
own ice skating rink.
I know. I was like, that's insane. What does her dad do to make him
Right.
this rich? Something financial, because I remember that's one of my favorite scenes. It's the New Year's scene, but it's Hale and Doug, and they're like quipping back and forth.
Uh-huh.
And then she's like, you'll have to excuse me, naked masculinity really leaves me cold.
Yeah.
Or naked male insecurity really leaves me cold.
Yeah.
I always love that line. But anyway, yeah, they would buy me like equipment and stuff because I played softball. But
They didn't
never
buy you
really
a whole
like-
field?
no.
I was like, my God. You know, like, obviously, I've seen this movie a ton. It never clocked until I was older to, like, understand that she had her own damn ice rink. It was like
I know.
right there at her house.
Like in her backyard.
I'd be such a good bowler if I had a bowling alley at my house.
Literally. Like, yeah, I had a big open backyard, but I don't have a field back there.
I had to roller skate in the kitchen, you know,
Yeah.
to practice.
Yeah. And it had a building around it, so it was year round.
Yeah. I was like,
If it got too cold outside, I can't play softball. It's snowing. There's ice on the ground.
I actually wondered why they didn't have a scene where they were like skating at that pond just to like loosen her up, to get her out of her comfort zone.
Yes.
Like maybe they made that his hockey rink. Like that would have been a better place to have done it, I feel.
Yeah. That's the one thing that I always kind of like think about when I'm like watching a movie. I'm like, I wish, like, I love the montages. The montages are fun and everything, but like, I wish that there could have been more of like them bonding with each other, because I know that's kind of the point of the montages. It's like they're building that tension, like you kind of see it in like quick time, I guess.
Yeah.
But I wanted to see more of them, like the like softer moments, even
Like maybe watching a hockey game together.
Yes, or like just having a heart to heart chat, like because they established that her mom, I'm assuming, passed away.
Yeah.
Because somewhere before the movie started. And like, you know, like maybe they have a heart to heart about that, because we don't see his parents either. So they could have had like maybe a bonding moment. Like they both lost their parents somehow. Like, I don't know if he lost his parents or not, but like just like a softer, like heart to heart moment to really like bond them together, and then kind of show that transition between like, I hate you, we have nothing in common, So maybe you're more like me than I thought. And then they kind of go from there.
Yeah. And, we see like with their Christmas gifts, she
Yeah.
would not want to wear a hockey sweater, but he gave her something that was important to him, to
15
her.
years.
And then she gave him her favorite book. So it's
Yes.
like they know each other won't appreciate that book, but they're wanting to give them something, like a piece of themselves,
Yes.
which is fun.
Because that's what that's one of my favorite scenes also. I say that about every single scene in the movie. I'm like, oh, that's one of my favorite scenes. But I literally like every scene. There's something about everything that I'm like, yes, this contributes so well to the plot. And like, I love this scene. It needed to be here. And like, but yeah.
Yeah. And I like when the New Year's party comes and Hale kisses Kate in front of him.
Oh, yes.
And he's just like, oh, like you could tell he doesn't like it.
Yeah. His eyes follow her back to like when she moves away. And I'm like, yes.
Yeah. And then the Lenny Kravitz song plays, which I enjoy. And every time I hear that song, I think of this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. What else do I have? Is there anything in this movie that upsets you, that you don't like as much?
I feel like the whole, like the Lori plot line, I feel like maybe it was important to like, because they needed to rebuild the tension.
Yeah.
But I just don't, it felt a little weird to me because we see like he rejects her, like Doug rejects Kate because she's drunk. But then we see Doug like actively drinking and like he's stumbling over to that door when Lori gets there, and it's okay for her to sleep with him when he's drunk, which I didn't really like that kind of like message, I guess.
Yeah.
Like I was like, I feel like she's kind of taking advantage of him now, and we don't really like that doesn't really get addressed. It's kind of like swept under the rug. And I feel like that's like that's kind of the only thing that I really am like, oh, that's a little weird. Like it weirded me out.
Like
I was like,
oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's because he was taking care of Kate because Kate doesn't drink. And so he was making sure that he didn't get drunk so he could take care of her. And then when she gets mad at him, because that wasn't his intention wasn't to make her upset. He just wanted it to be when she's sober that they get together. And then when she acted that way and kicked him out, then he was all hurt, and he had to go drink. And then his inhibitions are down. And he's like, well, I know she's an easy lay because she's already given me the I want to fuck you eyes all day. Like, why are they still there? They won or got second place. Why are they still there?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's just like they just didn't want to drive back yet, or I don't know what that was. But that's what I mean. I felt like it was so unnecessary, and I was like, why did this? Did this need to happen though? Like,
no, it didn't. But we get to see him in a towel running through the hotel. So
that's another thing I always think about. I'm like, these must be like industrial strength towels because how is he running and it hasn't even like slipped? Like, I have never had a towel that is that secure in my life.
Yeah. Oh, one part that I wrote that Hale says to Doug, he says, I don't like to see her upset. And he says, if I were you, I invest in blindfolds.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
She gets upset a lot, apparently.
Yes.
It's because she's not happy. She's not happy with her life.
I know. Like, it's funny, but it's not funny.
And it does seem like Doug, he loved hockey. That was his like whole personality. It was everything about him. And he's missing it. And then she just happens to have the money to do ice skating and is relatively decent at it. Because it doesn't seem like she has joy. She has no passion for it. But we do see glimpses of it because when she's alone, and and her old coach comes, she's just in the ice skating rink, just moodily dancing around or skating around. So she must like it somehow, or maybe it's her connection to her mom, and that's
I always thought it was something like that.
You know, I don't know. I don't. We'll never know because there's no one to ask. But
yeah,
I would just like to know, like, did she actually like it? But she just doesn't like it as much. She doesn't appreciate it as much as Doug does.
Yeah.
Let's see here. If there was anything you could change about the movie, what would you change? Anything?
I feel like I kind of mentioned it earlier with like the montages versus like actual like showing them bonding, but it's not like a big deal because like they kind of, it's implied through the montages that they're kind of bonding. Like he's teasing her and she's hating it, but then she kind of doesn't hate it, and they're trying to one up each other, and then there's like that tension building, and so it works in that aspect. And so I don't think I would change it, but like maybe just like, I don't know, I feel like it's
Like, I would kind of want to see more scenes of him progressively getting annoyed about the ice skating outfits. Like,
oh yes,
if that scene was just longer, like maybe because they have so many different outfits. Like if they're on like the third or fourth one, and that's when he rips it off and throws it down, like something like that, I think would have been fun.
That would, that's funny.
Where he's just getting more and more annoyed.
Yeah.
Let's see here. It's figure skating, and I like it.
Yeah. I feel like we needed more of him and Walter. Oh, that's what I would have wanted. I wanted Kate and Walter to meet each other, but they never did.
Oh, yeah.
Because he mentions her, like, when they're fighting about the figure skating thing. And Walter's like, oh, it's this broad, isn't it? You're mixed up with this girl.
Yeah.
And then Doug's like, no, you're not listening to me. I actually like the skating part, too. But I wish that they would have met at some point. Like, because Doug has met Kate's dad.
Yeah.
And, like, kind of knows her family stuff. But she never meets Walter, who's, I'm assuming, his main parental figure. Like, he seems to be throughout the movie, so I don't know. But I wanted them to meet. I always would think about that. I was like, oh, I wish they would have met like, on screen. Like, they don't have anything together. They don't talk to each other or anything.
That's a side quest.
Yeah.
Should have been in there because I could just see him coming up and, like, hugging her aggressively.
Oh,
and
yeah.
She would just, like, her eyes would be so big.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because she doesn't get that kind of affection at home.
Man, that would have been good. Oh, her face.
I know. Sometimes I'm like, I'll sit there and I'll be like, what would have happened if they'd met? How would that have gone?
Yeah. Oh, that would have been great. I think the movie opens in a really fun way when she's on the ice with Brian and he's not getting the lift. And the coach is like, I want to see your ass in the air, Kate.
Oh, yeah.
And she's like, until he can lift me up, this will have to do. And she just like flips her skirt up.
Yeah.
Perfect.
There's one shot like right after that. I always think about it because there's another like pair of figure skaters and they kind of like focus in on them for a second. Yeah. And the guy is like cranking his neck all the way to look at her like butt as she's skating away. And I was like, dang, bro, like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
It just makes me giggle because he's fully like his whole neck. I'm like, dang.
Yeah. And I love all the cameras take pictures of it. Yeah. But my thing is that they show the video of Kate and Brian and they show Kate's like skate, like I guess getting caught on his back. I don't know exactly what's happening.
I think she was like she was unbalanced, and so I think that her leg she went to try to rebalance herself, but since she was already off balance midair, she like I don't even know how you would say it. She kicked him, I guess, or like she tried to balance herself on him. It didn't work.
But I feel like that's his problem, not her.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know enough about figure skating, but I was like, I feel like it was kind of both of their fault.
Yeah. Like, if anything, he's supposed to basically, like in dancing, the guy is just there as the bull or as the matador, and she's the flag, right? So he's what he is spinning around to entice the bull or the audience, if you will. And so he is supposed to be strong. He's supposed to be the one that lifts her and does all that. And she's supposed to follow. So if there's something going wrong, unless she did it prior to him lifting her up, it's on him. Like, that's I
always think that.
Yeah, that's his fault.
Because like she's midair, like supported on his arms for that whole like lift, and she's fine for like the first half of it. And there's like a shot you can kind of see his arm buckles out. So I'm like, is it his fault? Because like we're all blaming her and being like, he was fine, he didn't do anything wrong. But like, is it her fault? Because I feel like if I'm midair, you don't really have like control over yourself. Like if like she's relying on him to like she said, she's like, until he learns to lock his grip. But it didn't look like he was locked. It looked like his arm like went out. And so then she's off balance midair and she's panicking because she's like Jack said, they were like 15 seconds away. And she's like, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
And then he doesn't even try to catch her either. He just throws her on the ground. I was like, what?
Yeah. And then
That's
just
so
looks
rude.
at her.
I know. Like, you did that though. Like, that was your fault. Why are you looking at her like that?
Yeah, I was like, I would be running over there, be like, oh my God. Because unless you're injured, you're supposed to get up and keep skating. And so clearly she's injured.
She hit her head. Yeah.
Like, you should be over there trying to see if she's okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I always thought of that too. I was like, he could have tried to recover it though, too. Like, yeah, she's kind of like kicking you in the back with her skate, but he caught her before. He caught her earlier during the warm-up.
Yeah.
Why couldn't he have just done that and they could have like finished the skate, maybe not get the gold, but they would probably fill a place if they were supposedly that good that they were going to get the gold for that performance.
Yeah, if they were 15 seconds away.
Exactly. Like, you couldn't have just tried to recover it. You had to throw her on the ground. Like, what?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. And I always felt like Doug's injury scene was so over the top. I was like, just guy after guy just slamming his head into the boards. And I was like, that, I feel like there's a point in which that becomes like against the rules, right? Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
Well, and we were actually talking about that while we were watching the movie. I think hockey had like a huge, not resurgence because, or surgeons, but I don't think anybody really talked about hockey. And then all of a sudden the Cutting Edge comes out and Mighty Ducks comes out. And it's like a big, big thing.
Oh, I love Mighty Ducks.
Oh, me too. It's my favorite. I love the whole series, but D2's the best one, to be frank. If I had to pick.
It's been a while since I've seen them, but I watched them. I watched those with my dad too, actually. He showed me most of the movies that I like. But
I think I like your dad.
It's been a while since I've seen those. Yeah.
He's a good dude.
He's got good taste.
Yeah. D2's the best, and then it goes D3, and then the original Mighty Ducks. Just personally, that's how I feel. And he is aged like fine wine. That Charlie Conway. That was always my favorite.
Yes.
My best friend and I are huge Mighty Duck fans. We watch that movie every weekend when she spent the night. we love the Mighty Ducks. Her and I both have owned the trilogy on VHS and DVD because I bought them both for her growing up. And for her high school graduation, I bought her all 3 DVDs so she would have them because usually we just watch mine because she was at my house.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I want the cutting edge on VHS. I don't even have a player. I just want to have it. I want to be like, I have one.
Right. I love that movie. They're my favorite. But this one's also great. I love hockey. I like ice skating. So, this seems like a perfect movie.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. Did you know that they learned how to skate for 3 months before this movie? Neither one of them knew how to skate.
Yes, I did. I watched the Reflections from the Ice interview that they had.
Oh,
I don't know what year it was from, but they were talking about how like neither of them knew how to skate, and when they were getting like considered for the role, they kind of had like a test trial, like, can you kind of just look good on the ice and like glide on it, whatever. But yes.
I feel like she was really good on the ice because when she's in my favorite outfit is the red outfit, the red sweater with the red.
Yes.
And she's like ice skating around. She's doing really good. And you can tell it's really her because they're not cutting away. And they're not like having her back to him. Like she's actually doing it.
Yeah.
I was like, wow.
I think it was in that were like the Reflections from the Ice interview. Sorry, I don't know if you can hear my brother yelling in the background. He's like right outside my door. But it's in the Reflections from the Ice interview, and she's talking about how her brother, I think, played hockey.
Uh-huh.
And so she was like before I went to like the skating part of the audition, I had him like teach me a few things. And she said that she was really good at skating backwards. And so I was every time I watched the movie after that, I was like, she is always skating backwards.
Yeah, she is. Because that's the hardest part.
Yeah. But she said she wasn't very good at going forward, but she was good at backwards. So she would always go backwards.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Because I was like, man, she is really good.
I know. I was like, dang.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense. She also was supposed to be Gina Davis's sister in A League of Their Own.
Oh, I read about that.
Yeah. But she got hurt doing this movie.
I know.
I was like,
I kind of had to like
which scene it was that she got hurt. I'm assuming it's the Pamchenko.
I know. Maybe. I don't even know though.
Because that's when he's holding her by her feet. So that's the only thing
I know. Yeah.
Think of.
Because they made it sound like she got hurt pretty early on though.
Yeah.
But I don't know what order they film scenes. I know they don't usually film scenes like in the order of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But like I don't know when she got hurt because there was like her stunt double was like, yeah, we had to stay a lot longer because she broke her foot or she sprained her foot or something.
Yeah.
But yeah. But I don't know when that would have happened.
Yeah, I don't know either. That's the only thing I can think of was the Pamchenko.
I know. I'm like, I feel like I don't want to say everything else is fairly easy because especially if you're not already a figure skater, then there's always the possibility of like landing wrong or just like, because they worked pretty long hours from what I read. So maybe she was just tired. She landed wrong and it just bad angle, bad timing and all the other factors. But
and
I
she
don't know
looks
for
like
sure.
She has delicate ankles. Look at her.
Yeah.
So one thing that I always find a little humorous, and I feel like the costume department did a spectacular job, is when the first time he's supposed to lift her and she's wearing the green tights and the pink leotard.
Oh.
And it's that just
you want my hands where?
The little strip of pink that's like
I know.
weird and ruffly at her crotchal area. I was like,
what?
Are they trying to make that look like a vagina? Because they totally did.
I was like, yeah, especially with him like right in between her legs being like, you want my hands where?
Yeah.
Like, oh, not this outfit, bro.
Yeah, so bad. Well, and I saw on IMBD they had it as a goof that she's wearing that outfit when he's supposed to hold her like that. But then on the next scene, she's in a different outfit. And I was like, no, those are different days.
I know. I was like, did you watch the movie? This is like a montage.
Yeah.
We're not in the same day.
I was like, God, IMBD, get it right. Jeez.
I know. And I hate looking at the reviews, especially on like IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes, because then they'll be like, that's like the Pomchenko is physically impossible. That's not the point.
Yeah, no.
Why are you basing your review off of one aspect of the movie?
Well, actually, I think I saw someone do it. I don't remember what it was. Probably on YouTube.
Yeah. Because I know that you can do both aspects like separately, but I don't think there was like a whole thing where they were like, because he's spinning her and then he throws her vertically somehow from that like horizontal spin.
Yeah.
And I think that they were like, because both of those are moves that you can do. Like you can throw someone up vertically like that. You can do the horizontal, like it wasn't like parallel to the ice, but it was like kind of when he's spinning her like that.
Yeah.
But I don't think that you can combine both of those together the way that they did.
Mm-hmm.
There was like a whole thing I read on it, but I don't know for sure. I don't know.
I feel like I saw somebody do it, but it also could have been fake. I have no idea. I was just like, so it's a real move.
Yeah.
Now they said that they can do it in, like if you're professionals or if you're in the like ice capades, you can do it, but not for like actual competition. Then it would be illegal.
Yeah, because I think I know what you're talking about. I think there's like a similar move, but I don't know if it's the same one or not because we don't even see the full move.
No.
In the movie. So I think there are definitely similar moves, but I don't think that specific move is possible. But I could be wrong. I have no idea.
You know,
I'm not a figure skater. If
I had a gripe about the movie, that is my one gripe. So when they're practicing this move, the first thing is they waited till 6 weeks before the Olympics.
I know.
That would never happen. Secondly, that they didn't practice on the ground with a mat first.
Yeah.
Or her in that aerial harness, because those are the things they would have done first.
Yeah.
Not
like
this.
At least give her if you're going to go straight on the ice, give her a helmet.
Right.
Like,
yeah, she didn't have arm pads, shoulder pads, hip pads, no pads, no helmet.
Well, and he's getting his wrist cut up too, because there's a scene after he like lets go over too early. He's like grabbing his wrist, and the next scene he has bandages over them.
Yeah.
So her skates are cutting his wrists up, and she's getting her head slammed into the ice. I'm like, you just got to stop at this point. Like, take a breath, put some tennis shoes on, and get on a mat or something, because this is not working.
Right. And what would they have done if they didn't do the move?
I don't know. Because I don't think that they rehearsed it without the move.
Yeah.
So I was like maybe they did have a different version, like that they would just do something simple instead. But I was like, what are they gonna like? What would they have done instead? Like that was that took up like the whole ending piece. Like, how else are you gonna get that grand finale?
And also, obviously, they're shows are not the full length that they're supposed to be, because that was not 4 minutes and however long, clearly.
Yeah.
But and the other groups, you can tell that they're professional ice skaters compared to these two buffoons.
Yeah.
So that's kind of sucky. Like, I kind of wish they would have gotten people that maybe ice skated in the past, but they weren't like super great, but they were good enough to stay up on the ice, and have them do it, just so it didn't make them look so much
Yeah.
immature then.
There's a couple spots where I always think it's funny because I'm like, I'll try to spot the difference between like where the stunt doubles are
Yeah.
and then where the actors are.
Yeah.
And when there's like a shadowy part or you don't see their faces, and I'm
Right.
like, okay, we know who that is.
Yeah.
And then you do see their faces and they're kind of just like skating normally. And then you're like, okay, we know who that is.
And
then,
oh, sorry. Go
yeah.
ahead.
And then there's the hockey scene where they're playing hockey against each other. And D.B. Sweeney's stunt double doesn't look anything like him. And then I was like, is that the guy? Like, is that the first guy that we saw Kate with at the beginning? And I think that they just reused him as D.B. Sweeney's stunt double because he kind of has that similar look. He's got a different build. But, like, he's got the kind of hair. He's kind of got the face-ish. Like, if, like, they put enough shadows, so you're like, is that him?
Yeah.
I don't know. But I was looking at it, and I managed to pause it at, like, a certain angle, and I was like, I think that's the guy from the first part where she was like, what he needs is a ride to the airport. And
the kid.
I was like, and I was like, I think that's him. I think that's the same dude that we just saw earlier.
That's funny.
And I rewatched it with my friend, and I was like, I need you to confirm something for me because I need to know that I'm not crazy and that I'm not imagining things because I've seen this movie too many times. And she's like, no, I think you might be right. I think that's the same guy. And I was like, okay.
That's so funny. I never noticed that. But yeah, like one of my favorite scenes is when the couple goes after the two of them at the championships and she gets stuck in his lederhosen.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like,
Yeah.
oh no. Well, it looks like she got stuck in his lederhosen.
I know. And you can see her like reach for them because they're not messing that up otherwise.
Yeah.
They're like professionals. And I always watch that scene. I'm like, you can see her like reach into the thing so she can fall.
Yeah. And they're a real ice couple or ice skating pair.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember where they're from. They're probably like Canadian or something, but my mom was like, "Oh no, they're a real couple." I was like, "Oh, well, that makes sense."
I think the people who played Smilkov and Brushkin were also like, I think they were an American couple actually.
Oh.
I can't remember for sure, but I think they placed like 9th or something in the Olympics.
Oh wow.
But they had like made it there and everything, but they weren't like they're the number one competitor in the cutting edge, but they got like 9th in real life. And I was like, that's okay. This is the movie.
Just a movie. So is there anything else that you love about this movie or that you hate or you have questions about?
I don't really know. I feel like I can't say that I don't know, I love the whole movie so much that like I don't know if there's like a specific thing I can narrow down.
I don't understand how Kate met Hale. Oh, does he work for her dad?
I don't either. I don't know, like, because I don't know if her dad's parties are like work-related parties.
Yeah.
Like, do they do that New Year's party thing every year, or were those work people? How do they know so many people otherwise? Like, what's going on?
Because he went to Harvard, and he, they're probably. Do you think they live in Boston? Is that where they live?
I think so. I think, well, because he was in London at first.
Yeah.
Like when she first talks to Doug about Hale, she's like, "Oh, like yeah, I do have a boyfriend. He works for my dad. He's in London.
Yeah,
he's in my dad's London office." And I was like, okay, so he's in London right now, but he went to Harvard, so at some point he was here.
Well, the reason why I wonder, so me and my sister, while we were watching this, we were wondering where in the country they were, and I was like, they're probably in like Connecticut or New Hampshire.
I think because they show like the sign, one of the signs at the beginning, I think it's like Greenwich, or I don't know how to say it, but something. And I was like, I looked up, I was like, where is this? Like, where are we at right now? I was like, New York, Connecticut. I think they're in Connecticut though.
That would make sense. I thought Maine, Connecticut, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
But then I was thinking, if he went to Harvard, and I know at some point Doug goes to Boston, maybe they're in Massachusetts somewhere.
I know. I'm like, where are we at?
So I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah. Because we know where Doug lives in Minnesota.
Yeah, Minnesota.
But we don't ever get like Kate details. We're just like, here's her house. We have no idea where it is.
Yeah, no. It's just beautiful. That's all I know.
Yeah. Oh, it's so pretty.
Jerks. Especially at Christmas time. It's all nice. Pretty.
Oh, I love that whole, like the decorations. I'm like, give me that house. Give me that house right now.
She doesn't appreciate none of it.
Real.
You know, matter of fact, so I've told you I watched the other Cutting Edge movies, and I feel like their daughter doesn't have a lot of money. Like, she doesn't seem super rich, but I just thought about it.
Yeah.
If her dad, or if her mom is Kate and her dad has lots of money, how come she seems so broke? Because
I don't know. Maybe there's like the pride thing. Like,
maybe.
I don't know. I haven't seen that one, but I kind of know what you're talking about because I've seen like some clips from it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have
like
to watch
trailers
it
and stuff.
and see, because I kind of feel like she didn't have a ton of money, but now thinking about it, she should have, because her grandpa has a lot of money.
I know. Yeah. I don't know. I just haven't watched those. I can't, because I'm like, they recast Kate and Doug. You can't recast Kate and Doug. They're literally the main characters of the first movie.
That's because they made a pact that they wouldn't do it unless they both did it. And
because I heard they were going to do a sequel, and then they both read the script and they were like, no, this is bad. And then they said the pay was bad, and I was like, oh, why would you do this? We could have had a second one.
But
I mean, I don't even know what the second one would have been about. They kind of resolved everything in the first one.
But I will say he should have done it because he doesn't like work a ton.
Yeah.
He should have really.
Oh, I also heard he was going to be in Home Alone and he turned it down.
What? I
heard he was going to be not Joe Pesci's character, but he's going to be Marv. I think, is that Marv?
Really?
Yeah, and I think he turned it down because he was like, oh, I don't want to be in a Christmas movie. And then he did some other movie, and then because it was like, this is a more recent interview. I think he was talking about this because I think it was in 2022 because it was something like the Cutting Edge at 30 interview with D.B. Sweeney or whatever. And he was talking about that, and he was like, every time I see Home Alone, it kind of hurts a little because he could have been in that too. But
I couldn't see anybody else.
I know.
Marv, though.
I know, but I also couldn't see anybody else with like Doug and Kate. So I'm like, everything worked out in the end. Like, maybe the Cutting Edge isn't as successful as Home Alone is, but like, it's still like, it's got that energy that like it just wouldn't have had otherwise. Like, if anyone else had played Doug or Kate, I don't think it would have worked as well.
No,
because D.B. Sweeney and Moira Kelly just have so much like good chemistry with each other throughout the whole movie that if it would have been anyone else, it probably would have been fine, but it wouldn't have been as good, I don't think.
I think he's done a Hallmark movie, and I know she's done Hallmark movies.
Mm-hmm. She did a recent Hallmark movie.
Yeah, the an Irish one.
Yes, I watched it. I thought it was cute.
I haven't seen it yet. We haven't recorded.
It's pretty cute.
But like, they could totally be parents in a Hallmark movie. I would love that.
Exactly. Because in the Love of the Irish one, I'm not going to spoil too much, but like Moira Kelly plays like the mom of the main character, and her like the dad is referenced a bunch of times, so we never see him. And I'm like, missed opportunity, guys.
Right?
You could have brought in D.B. Sweeney for this. What are we doing?
You want to know
what?
Okay. So she was on One Tree Hill, and one of his best friends is Craig Schaefer, who was on One Tree Hill, played her love interest.
Oh, that's funny.
I was like, oh, it's like it's a full circle. So
I know they were in another movie together too. I think he directed it, D.B. Sweeney. It was like 2 Tickets to Paradise or something.
Oh, okay.
I haven't watched that because it has really, really bad reviews.
Oh.
And I'm pretty sure she's like cheating on him in the movie. So I'm like, I don't want that. I don't want to see that. Nope. Doug and Kate are locked in my head. They are together forever. I cannot have this image in my mind. That's not happening.
I just love that they're still friends to this day.
Yes, I saw something about that too. I was like, oh, yay.
Let me tell you, when I found out that Jennifer Grey and Patrick Swayze hated each other while they were making Dirty Dancing, it broke me just a little.
Yeah.
But they did mend fences and they were fine later on. But while they filmed the movie, they did not like each other and it really upset me.
Yeah.
So I get it. I understand. You don't want to see your favorite couple.
I know.
On the outs.
I can't. That's not happening. That's not real.
Yeah. Well, we have to rate this movie. So we always rate it out of 10. And then we pick something from the movie. So I'll go first.
Okay.
So I'm going to rate it a 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 penalty box bar. That's what I will rate mine. So you can rate it and then pick something from the movie that you rate it out of.
Oh, okay. I'm kind of trying to think like so I would obviously give it a 10 out of 10 as well.
Of course.
And I can just pick like anything?
Yeah, anything from the movie.
So like, could I just be like 10 out of 10, like the Pomchenko, I guess?
Yes. I like that.
Okay.
10 out of 10 Ponchenkos. Yeah. I like it.
Okay.
Well, thank you so much for being on.
Thank you for inviting me on.
Yes. Anybody who's a fan of The Cutting Edge should be on the show.
Yes.
Not a ton of people
more love
that I run into know this movie, so
I know.
It's a shame. We just need your dad out there hustling and telling everybody about
I know. I'm the one hustling. I've showed almost every single person I know this movie, and they all like it. And I'm like, that's what I'm saying, guys. We got to get this movie back out there. We got to get it going. It's a good movie.
You know, that's how I feel about this movie that like nobody's heard of. It's called Dance Till Dawn. Have you heard of it?
Maybe. It sounds familiar,
so
but I can't place it.
The first time I saw it, it was like a TV movie, like after school movie that they used to do. That's how I saw it. And then a year or so later, I saw it at Blockbuster and I rented it because I liked it so much the first time and I wanted my friend to watch it. And then I rented it again and then I didn't think about it for a long time. And then I thought about it and I wanted it, but they didn't have it anywhere and you could only buy it online. So after a year, I waited a year to get this movie. Finally got it for Christmas one year. I love this movie, but not a lot of people has heard of it. But a few weeks ago, someone on TikTok had scenes from the movie. And I was like, oh my God, somebody else knows this movie. And it is so, so good. It has like every 80s, 90s star you can think of is in this movie.
Really?
Matthew Perry, R.I.P. Christina Applegate. Tracy Gold from Growing Pains. She's on it. Tempest Bledsoe. She plays the second to youngest daughter on The Cosby Show. She played Vanessa. She's in it. Alyssa Milano. She's in it. Oh God, who else? Oh my goodness. Kelsey Grammer. Alan Thicke. So many people are in this movie. And it is
That's weird that it's not
so
more
good.
popular than.
Yeah, well, I think it was like made for TV movie because it was about kids going to prom. So it's the last couple of days of school, and Tracy, a rumor gets put out there that Tracy Gold's character, is easy. And so the popular guy in school wants to take her to the prom. And so she is going to the prom with this guy. And Christina Applegate, she's actually not popular in this movie. But she's like the... Have you ever watched Glee?
Glee?
Yeah.
I've seen stuff from it. I haven't watched it in the entirety.
So she is like kind of like the main girl from Glee, where she's just in like all the clubs. She's like, you know, president of the class.
Okay. Yeah.
All this thing, and like she's real snooty and like no one really likes her.
Yeah.
But she's popular because she's in all the clubs and whatnot. And it's so good. It's so entertaining. There's like new couples that form, and they all meet up at this restaurant the next morning, and all their lives have changed, and it's so good. I highly recommend.
There's so many movies like that. Like there's so many good movies, and then you like try to talk about it, and then people are like, "What are you talking about?
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean?"
Yeah, I recommend trying to find. I wonder if they have it somewhere. I'm sure they do.
They probably do. I'll see if I can like look it up and see what they have it on. It's called Dance Till Dawn, you said?
Yeah, Dance Till Dawn. There it is. It's TIL.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, no, it's not showing anywhere, but I'm sure you can find it on YouTube. But
yeah,
it's such a good movie.
It does look cute.
I love it so much.
It's not even rated or anything either.
Yeah. Like I said, I think it was like a made-for-TV movie.
That would make sense then. Yeah, it says it's distributed by NBC.
Yeah, and I somehow got my hands on a copy of it, and I love that movie. I've watched it so many times, and it's so good. So I recommend.
Oh, it might be on YouTube. Oh, that might be a pirated version. Maybe not that one.
But, well, again, thank you so much. And
yes, thank you.
If anybody wants to go check out her edits of this movie, you can find her on all the platforms. Did you want to pimp out your platform again, your name?
Yeah. On TikTok and Instagram, it's kate.m.edits. And then on YouTube, it's kate.m.edits-YT.
All right. Well, guys, go look her up. And until next time, toodles. This episode was produced by Two Chicks Talkin Flicks. Music was produced by Michael Giovanni. If you like this episode, please like and subscribe. If you'd like to be a part of the show, have a movie suggestion, or just want to give us some love, you can email us at twochickstalkinflicks@gmail.com. Thanks, guys. Toodles.